Hello children, this is your English PowerPoint for Thursday the 8th of July. So today's lesson is going to be a recap lesson over different things that we have been doing in class and that are really important when we are writing. Okay, so we're going to be going back over things that we've already learnt to help you to practice just a little bit more so that you can remember this when you're writing different things. So these are what we're going to go over today. We're going to look at contraction words, past and present, compound words and commas in a list. So you will need a pencil, a piece of paper and your super duper neat handwriting today. So we're going to start with contraction words. Now this has been one of our recap things on our sentences in the morning. So when we come in and we do our start of it every single morning, these are often on there, okay? So see if you can tell your grown-up what a contraction word is. See if you can remember. Well done. A contraction word is two words that are squeezed together, they're pushed together to make a shorter word. Now there's something really important about our contraction words. When we've squashed two words together, there must be something in our contraction word. Can you tell your grown-up what it is? It's a piece of punctuation. I wonder what it's going to be. Well done. We must have an apostrophe in our contracted word. Okay? So your job today, it says at the top, can you add the apostrophes into the words in the ice lollies to make them into one whole word? Okay, so you've got to write the complete word down on your piece of paper. So if we start at the top, you've got could not. Okay, if you add your apostrophe, when could not is squeezed together, what contracted word does that become? Now you can just write the word down on your piece of paper, but it must have an apostrophe in the right place. Now that apostrophe is replacing a letter or letters that are taken out of the word when it's been squeezed together. So could not becomes, what does it become? You write it down and see if you can put your apostrophe in the correct place. Your next word is I am. Okay, when you squeeze that together, what does it become? And you can write that down on your piece of paper and make sure you put your apostrophe in. You are, I wonder if you can have a go at that one of what it could become. He would, there's a few letters that need to come out of that when it becomes a contraction. Cannot and she will. So there are 6 there altogether, so you should have 6 words written down that you've made into a contraction. So could not, I am, you are, he would, cannot, and she will. So now we're going to move on to past and present. So at the top it says, can you fill in the missing boxes in the table, changing the sentences to past or present? Okay, well, we don't need to fill them in on the table because you're just going to use a piece of paper. So on the left-hand side, we have got the past tense, and on the right-hand side, we've got the present tense. See if you can tell your grown-up what the past tense means and what present tense means. Well done. Past tense means that something has already happened. You've already done it. Okay, you've already been somewhere, it's already happened. And present tense means that it's either happening now or it's going to happen in the future. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. I could say, I am going swimming tonight with my friend. That would be present tense because it means I haven't done it yet. If it was in the past tense, it would be, yesterday I went swimming with my friend. Okay, so sometimes you have to change more than one word in your sentence to make it either be in the past tense or the present tense. So let's have a look at these sentences together. In the top one, in past tense, it says, we went to the park and played in the garden every day. So your job now on your piece of paper is to write down what that would be in the present tense. So we went to the park and played in the garden every day. How can you change that so that it's present tense, which means that you haven't done it yet and you're going to play in the park and the garden? Okay. Then you've got another sentence which says, our flight is delayed by 6 hours. So that means something that is happening right now. But if it's already happened, what sentence might you write down? So that's what you've got to do. Then the next sentence is, it was more fun than the pool. I wonder what present tense you could write in your sentence. The water in the pool is green and I hate food. Okay, so if you've already seen the water in the pool, okay, how can you change that sentence? We went to Spain. That's already happened, but you have to put it into the present tense now. So that's a bit of an easier sentence. And I eat my favourite food, fish and chips, whenever I want. That means you've got to now change that one into the past tense. So they've already had their favourite food, which is fish and chips. So take your time with those sentences and think really carefully and just have a go. Okay? If you can't do all of them, then just maybe do 3 or 4. Just try your best. So there's a few more sentences here which says, can you change these sentences into the past tense? So we've got James is going swimming tomorrow at the leisure centre. Alfie catches a ball whilst playing cricket. Lucy is sitting on a broken chair, and Marie is going to visit her sister tomorrow. They are all things that are going to happen. You have got to change it into the past tense so that it's already happened. Now, you can do all of those sentences if you like, or you can just do 2 of them. Okay, so choose the 2 that you think would be the best ones for you to do, and then write them down on your piece of paper so I can see which ones you've done and how you've changed your sentence into the past tense. So our next activity is compound words. Now we've only really recently been learning about compound words, but hopefully you might be able to remember what they are. Now if you can remember, then tell your grown up. And if you can't, then just try really, really hard to remember. And don't worry if you've forgotten. So a compound word is 2 words put together. Okay, so a little bit like our contracted words, but compound words are words that can be on their own. And when they are put together, they don't have an apostrophe. Okay, so when we've been playing our compound splat on Phonics Play Together, we've had words like downstairs. Okay, stairs that go down. Playground, it's a ground that you play on. Okay, so your job now is, it says, can you draw lines to match up the buckets and spades to make new compound nouns? Well, we don't need to draw lines unless your grown-up would like to print it off for you, but you can just have a look at the buckets that are in the middle of this sheet and the words that are on them. So you've got fire, life, air, day, butter, sand and deck. So you can write those words or ask your grown-up to write those words down for you on your piece of paper, and then I want to see if you can match them to the words that are on the spade. Okay, now don't be fooled by the colour of the spades, because just because there's a purple bucket doesn't mean that it goes with the purple spade, because you can't have you don't put air and boat together, do you, to make airboat? Okay, so think really carefully about which word you're going to choose from the bucket to then match with the spade. So you've got to match the buckets to the spades. So have a go. Even if you just do 3 or 4, that's absolutely fine. If you complete all of those, Miss Moore is going to give you a challenge, and I'm going to challenge you to see if you can think of 2 extra compound words. So 2 extra sets of words that go together. Okay? And our last activity is commas in lists. Now you're all wonderful at doing this, okay? And lots of you do use commas in your writing. So it says, read the children's lists of what they're taking on holiday with them. Can you write what they are taking in a sentence using commas and the word and to separate the items? Okay, and finally, can you guess where they are going on holiday? So there's 3 different children, okay, and they all have a holiday list. So what it's asking you to do is to write down what their list is, what they're taking with them, but you have got to use commas and the word and. So the first one is Sasha. So on your piece of paper you would write, Sasha is taking, and then her list is there, a swimming costume, a towel, a sun hat, and a book. So you've got to write that in a sentence using your commas, putting your commas in the right place. And then it says, can you guess where they're going? So you can write, I think she is going, where might she be going if she's taking a swimming costume, a sun hat, and a book? Okay, so is she going somewhere warm or is she going somewhere cold? Then you've got Ibrahim. So he's taking skis, snow boots, woolly jumpers. So you write that in a sentence and then see if you can write down where he's going. So is he going somewhere warm or is he going somewhere cold? And think of your warm and cold places. So if you think that he's going somewhere warm, think of a country that you might be able to write down that might be warm. Okay, if he's going somewhere cold, try to think of a cold country. And lastly, you've got Maya. Okay, Maya is taking a tent, a sleeping bag, a torch, and marshmallows. So that's her list, and you've got to put that in a sentence. And then can you write down where you think she's going? I think Miss Moore might know where she's going. Okay, and then at the bottom, this is optional, so you don't have to do this. It says, can you write your own packing list for a real or imaginary, so a made-up holiday? So how would you write this as a list and how would you write it in a sentence? So see if you can have a go at writing that in a sentence. So take your time with all of those activities, have lots of fun, and remember to ask your grown-up to send a picture of your work to Miss Moore so I can see how you've got on. Bye for now.